The Research Publications Open Access Policy from the 1st of January 2024. Research, Retain, Reuse. Find out more at www.imperial.ac.uk/OA-policy or by clicking on the QR code on the slide.
Imperial's research is trusted and authoritative. The essential underpinning of this is an environment that has integrity and good practice at its heart. Open access to research outputs is a key component of a culture that is transparent and ethical and which can deliver world-changing ideas with transformative benefit to society.
What is the new Research Publications Open Access Policy?
Most research articles will be open access by default if published via an open access journal or via a publisher where Imperial has an institutional subscription that covers reading and publishing. Both routes are known as Gold Open Access.
The Research Publication Open Access Policy means any articles that can't be made open access in those ways can be made open access immediately via Spiral, Imperial's repository. This is known as a green open access. It would apply, for example, to any articles published in a subscription journal by a publisher that we don't have a read and publish agreement with.
The Research Publications Open Access Policy allows you to make your peer-reviewed journal articles and conference proceedings available openly without post-publication embargoes. This is important. Not only does this make your research accessible as widely as possible, but also ensures that your articles meet your funders' open access policies and that they are eligible for submission to the next Research Excellence Framework.
The College is introducing the new policy on 1st January 2024. It applies to all peer-reviewed articles and conference proceedings accepted for publication on or after that date by all authors affiliated to Imperial, including students.
What's changing compared to the old open access policy?
Under the old policy, publishers could require you to sign a copyright transfer agreement to publish your article. To retain your copyright, you would have to add a statement to each and every manuscript to notify the publishers. Publishers could still impose an embargo period during which the published article could not be made open access on Spiral, and this period could last several years.
What happens under the new policy is that Imperial will undertake a one-time institutional notification of publishers rather than we authors doing it ourselves each and every time we submit a manuscript. This prior notification will enable us to retain our rights. Authors will then grant a non-exclusive license to Imperial to allow immediate sharing of the accepted manuscript via Spiral upon publication of the article.
There will be no more embargoes, and you will retain the right to share and reuse your work as you see fit.
What do researchers need to do?
Complying with the policy is very easy. There's just one thing you need to do. By uploading your accepted manuscript to Sympletic, you will ensure that your work meets your funder's open access policy.
Why do we need this policy?
Imperial supports and nurtures a research environment that is defined by a culture of integrity, good governance and best practice. We're committed to open research conducted ethically and with integrity. Open research is the overarching term which encompasses openness and transparency of research practice, ethics and culture. That's what we do, how we do it and what happens to our data and our papers. Our work is underpinned by the principles of reproducibility and reliability and includes open access publications.
The new open access policy is a bold and innovative step towards a society where research is openly available for all to read and use. It empowers Imperial researchers to retain the right to share and reuse their own work.
The ultimate question is, who decides? Should publishers get to decide what research readers see and what they can do with it? Or should it be for the research community to decide for ourselves? The Research Publications Open Access Policy answers the question in favour of the research community.
The Research Publications Open Access Policy from the 1st of January 2024. Find out more on the website or contact openaccess@imperial.ac.uk for more information.